What do you got there, Kath?
A couple of truffles, and then
You get old
Well, I've got
meat pie.
a lovely pie, but I actually don't. I realise I don't know how to eat a pie in company as such. I normally take off the top,
Grab it, yeah.
and then scoop out the middle, and then eat it like a crust.
No tomato sauce.
It's got tomato relish and barbecue sauce, but I haven't tried it yet, and it's fancy me. So.
What do the boys got?
Nothing yet. Look at that. Fish and chips, and then this one had, was it the trio or the duo? The seafood trio.
Give us their names.
This is Quinn.
Quinn?
Quinn Dougal.
Oh, yeah. Quinn Dougal.
Who for years, when he was little, was very upset because his name was not Quinn Dougal, it's Quinn Snell, because he didn't like his middle name.
Yep.
And then after that, determined he was Scottish because his middle name was Dougal and tried to speak Scottish everywhere.
All right.
And this is Bassy, but his full name's Sebastian.
Yep.
And he's Bassy James, which is named after his father's middle name, because his father died when he was 6. And I've lost a memory. Is Dad Graham Joseph or Graham James?
Graham James. Henry.
No, he's not. He's either Graham Joseph or Graham James, because my dad.
Your brother.
Yeah, Graham James.
That's what I thought. We made such a fuss at the beginning that it was after his dad. I hadn't even thought of what my dad's middle name was. I hadn't thought of naming any of my kids after that. And I'm the loser in the family because the other kids have all, like the other cousins have all got their mother's family names and dad's family names. Like their cousins to my brother John. Their mum, her last name was Fox, and she was the last of the Foxes. So both Morgan and Matthew have the middle name Fox. I was like, okay, I just wasn't that nice. See a Barnes family tree.
No.
Not knowing how to eat something with a knife and fork. When Dad first met Mum's family, then Mum's mum, Grandma had served chicken, and Dad got a drumstick. How he managed that, I mean, just for the rest of his life. Yes, you can use it. But Dad didn't know how to eat it in company, and so he tried to eat it with a knife and fork, like, cutting off the bit of the meat off the bone of the chicken, which they let him do for a little bit before Grandma stepped in and said, it's okay, you can use your fingers.
They made him suffer though.
Of course. Like Mum has some crackers from, I forget how, it's only a generation away. One of her best friends, when they started dating, the boy, if you remember the phone boxes, and they used to have the shelf where the phone book would go. And Mum's friend, her boyfriend had lifted her up and sat her on that metal shelf to make a phone call. And as she sat down, she farted, which of course echoed, and the poor boy thought he'd broken her because in his family it was boys and Mum never farted around gentlemen, so he didn't think mums don't fart, girls don't fart. That was his convinced story. So yes, that one didn't work. That's okay.
And she was a nurse, or was a nurse from there?
Yep.
Lovely to see you again.
Lovely. I will. I'm going to send all those photos off today.
Yeah, do that.
Yes.
Lovely to see you.
Yes.
I'd stand up for Riley.
Stay there. It's too hard to get up there.
Thank you. Yes, still on Facebook. You'll see.
Where we go?
The first part of the story is fairly right. It was Dad was in the army, and the party was on a army base. Mum didn't know Dad. Now Mum's a non-drinker. Yeah? She'd gone to the party, and they needed more alcohol. They'd run out, whatever.
So she could drive.
So Dad went with her, driving through Enoggera Army Barracks, which is, it's not the Boondocks, right? When 6 white horses ran through the fields next to them, in front of them, and went off. Mum had never been there before and just assumed this is Army Barracks, and Dad turned to her and went, "Did you just see 6 white horses?"
It must be
alcoholic dementia coming early. And she's like, "Yeah." Like it's normal. And he's like, "And from that moment on, I knew I'd marry her." Someone who shares my delusions. There you go. Barbara, and she was definitely not a pro. Oh, you know, you're covering tracks now. Just a second.
It's Brenda, not Barbara.
Barbara, his mum.
Brenda was his first wife. He met her and come over here, and that's when he dropped the baby out the bassinet, and Dad gave her a clip under the ears.
What colour hair was the mum?
I'm not sure whether she's a redhead or a blonde.
There you go. Okay, she's a redhead. Because Brenda was brown hair.
What colour was the carpet?
Eh?
What colour
No,
was the
company
carpet?
A, B and C. It was in D. It's okay.
Right when they finish.
And what was she good? She liked good company?
Yep. A company, B company, C company. He was in the army then.
Oh, classics.
They had to take her off the base because when he was out on leave or on excursions, she was playing around with everyone else.
Oh, yep. Oh, magic.
She was skinny as a rake, only tiny, skinny as a rake.
I've only seen pictures of her, and I'm the only brown hair. You can tell I'm brown hair.
It's purple.
It's my natural colour. Alex is a blonde with just that hint of strawberry. Denise is full redhead. John is the redhead with the light brown through it. And I had mousy brown hair. And Dad had like black hair, you know? And I'm like, am I adopted?
Yeah, brown hair is same as mine.
But then, like, you know, as soon as I found out about this ex-wife, I'm like, am I her child?
No, I had to stop thinking of her name then.
Was there any? They'd get a punch in the arm, not around the ladies.
Yeah,
But if the boys walked downstairs, it was all boys club, it was fine. So I never know. Like, I sat down and played poker with them at one point.
I swear.
It was just a lovely game. I'm sure they put it on for me. It was just a lovely game. But I have no idea. Like, and when it came to parties, it was the fisherman's club because it was part of a fishing club. And the person who held the parties had a little tiny poker machine, which he played. And then there's only so much you can do that. So we used to play it being maids. Poverty households. We played it being maids at parties because the adults were getting drunk and we'd clean up inside to give us something to do. Versus at home where there wasn't a lot of food, you weren't allowed to snack like these days. So we'd play it being in church and we'd flatten down some bread so we could eat that and say that's the body of Christ. But not my uncle. I used to call Auntie Chris and all that. So I still do Auntie Chris, but they're actually my cousins. It's just because of the age gap.
Yeah.
And they bought a few houses, and they bought a pub, and they renovate them. And I can't remember the name of the place. It was below or around the border. It started with a U. And they bought this pub. And we went down there, and you know we were all having a fine time. You know, kids separated from adults, and then I walked out, and there's Dad, not for the first time I found looking at photos, wearing somebody's bra and a hula skirt standing on a table. There was no karaoke.
He's
but
done that.
That's where Graham got it from.
Got to teach him some things.
It's okay, I've got Auntie Betty's purple bra immortalised because she flashed it too quick at a party and I'm like, I missed it. Oh, okay, I'll do it again.
I forgot all those. Convenient memory.